This video will discuss the phases of the moon and how they occur. The moon is a large ball of rock revolving around the Earth. The moon revolves around the Earth, while the Earth revolves around the sun. The moon is about 240,000 miles away from the Earth, and about 7,000 miles in circumference. To put that in perspective, the Earth's circumference is about 25,000 miles. The picture here shows a size comparison of the Earth and moon. You have looked up into the sky before and seen the moon at night, and sometimes that moon looks like a large full circle, and other times like a small sliver of light. The moon reflects light from the sun, so it appears bright in our dark sky. As the moon travels along its orbit around the Earth, we see different amounts of the lit area of the moon, which is why it appears to change shape. The different shapes the moon takes due to its position around the Earth are called moon phases. The moon takes about 30 days to complete a single revolution around the Earth. Let's analyze this diagram showing the moon traveling around the Earth. The planet at the center is, of course, Earth. The sunlight coming from the right-hand side of the screen can be seen here. It points in this direction. The dotted lines coming out of the center represent the angle at which the people on Earth see the moon. There's different angles at each position of the moon. This will become important soon. The inner circle of moons shows how much light the moon is reflecting from the sun. Finally, the outer circle of moons shows how the moon appears in the sky to the people on Earth at each position. So let's take a look. First, notice in the inner circle of moons that exactly 1/2 of the moon is covered in light at each position. See right here where I'm drawing is where it's covered in light. No matter where the moon is in its orbit, half is always covered in light. To understand why we don't always see half moon in the sky, look at the dotted lines coming out from Earth. Look at the new moon position to start out. Here, half the moon is covered in light. But humans on Earth only see the dark side of the moon, so the moon appears entirely dark to us. Look where I've boxed in. This shows what we see. Look at the waxing crescent position. As always, half the moon is covered in light, but we still see mostly darkness. However, now we can see a small amount of light on the right side, making the moon appear like a small sliver of light. Again, the box represents what we see. Let's look at one more example on the opposite side. The waning gibbous is half covered in light as always, but now we can see mostly light with just a small amount of darkness, so the moon appears like a nearly full circle in the sky, as can be seen here. In summary, it's all about perspective. From here on Earth, we see different phases, but if you went out into space, the moon would always appear the same. It's the angle of the Earth to the moon that determines the moon phase. Naming moon phases is easy. When we see no light covering the moon, it is called a new moon. And when we see the whole moon covered in light, it is called a full moon. Gibbous means more than half of the moon is bathed in light. Crescent means less than half of the moon is bathed in light. When the light is on the right and the amount of light is increasing, the moon is waxing. And when the light is on the left and the amount of light is decreasing, the moon is waning. When we see half the moon lit and the light is on the right, it is called first quarter, and when we see half the moon lit and the light is on the left, it is called last quarter or third quarter. Starting at the new moon, the phases occur counterclockwise. Waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, third quarter, and waning crescent. Familiarize yourself with the names of the moon phases, and the order they occur, and where the moon is positioned in each phase.